There is a question that every single person graduating tomorrow knows the answer to. Some of us are more certain of this question than others, and many of us actually come to Harvard to figure this out. But even if we don't know the answer, it's a question that we ask ourselves often, and it's something we spend 4 years trying to figure out. What am I going to do with my talents? Some will use their talents to take care of patients and cure disease. Many are going to become lawyers and legislators. Still others, writers, actors, comics, and heads of state. And I'd be lying if I didn't think about this question myself. But I felt more lost about this question. This is because I, like so many other students at this university, was lost about my place at Harvard. I am one of the nation's 11.3 million undocumented immigrants. My father finds work as a line cook in restaurants across New York City, and my mother finds work in beauty salons. So, if you've ever eaten at a Korean restaurant or received a mani-pedi in New York City, congratulations. Like it or not, you may have partially subsidized the education of what Fox News would call an illegal alien. My parents are actually here today. 엄마 and 아빠, thank you. 고맙고 사랑해. Don't cry. I knew early on that my talents were merely a testament to their sacrifice, a product of their original dream to secure a better life for me. And so I knew most of all that my talents weren't my own. They were molded by my parents' labor, shaped by their bowed legs and their blistered hands. My talents are indistinguishable from their labor. They are one and the same. Thus, this perspective I brought with me to Harvard gave new meaning to the question of, what am I going to do with my talents? My immigration status has always affected the way that I see the world, affected the way that I envision my place in society, and by extension, what I wanted to do with my so-called talents. And so I wondered, what am I going to do with my talents? Rawls challenges us to question whether our talents are something we can truly claim ownership over. Indeed, Rawls says that one's talents are merely the product of luck, an arbitrary force dispensed to humans based on no moral standard. Thus, he argued, we must think about our talents as a collective asset, a common asset. Okay, so now to be sure, some of you are thinking, but these are my talents. I was the one who worked to cultivate them. I was the one who spent all those hours at Lamont, and I was the one who shed sweat, tears, and peppermint Rubinoff to perfect my abilities. I deserve what flows from my talents. Why should I think about it as a common asset? In reality, our talents are products of social collaboration. Our intelligence, charm, and abilities only blossom when others believe and invest in us. I think this is clearest at Harvard. The only thing I would venture to say is true for every single person in our class is that not one of us could have gotten to this point on our own. Dining hall workers nourish our bodies. Librarians and archivists preserve the knowledge and heritage we rely on to write our papers. And landscapers and custodial staff make our campus a beautiful place for us to completely ignore as we swipe away on Tinder. Indeed, our talents are developed through interaction with others in a web, composed both of people you know, but more by people you do not. And once we accept this, there's no reason why the duties we have to those we know shouldn't also extend to those we do not. Indeed, there's no reason why the close bonds of fellowship we often feel to our family and friends shouldn't also extend to those we don't know in our political union. When we share a society, your life affects mine whether we know each other or not. And we have to evaluate this joint project by the whole. Our particular positions within the web of society come to us most of all through fortune, not desert. At Harvard, we can often be blind to the fact that we have duties to one another that demand more from us than simple non-interference. Non-interference that says, I'll do with my talents what I will, and you do with your talents what you will. Non-interference that says we should draw the line of membership in our society only around those who possess talents. On the contrary, we have a positive responsibility to others, a duty to liberate those who are unable to wonder, what am I going to do with my talents? And I know this isn't easy. It's not easy because it demands that we reject this notion that we can truly own our talents. It demands that we step up and own our good fortune enough to give its fruits away. Thus, I believe truly taking this adage seriously, what am I going to do for others with my talents? Thank you.